morning, and thanks so much for joining us on After GMS 7:45 on a very wet and rainy Thursday morning. I'm Tracy McCain here with Megan Malaris, Ed Matthews, and Taran Kirksey, of course, keeping track of the forecast, and Stacey Spivey monitoring some social media comments about all this weather. So I guess we should get right to it, right?
All right, yeah, let's talk about what's going on out there. And as we've mentioned, rain is the big weather story. There's a lot of it going on right now, and the rain is pretty heavy at times. You see the radar loop there. We do see the back edge of the rain starting to get closer to western Wilkes County, but I think we're going to see a fairly moderate to even heavy rainfall across the Triad for the next several hours. We do have several flash flood warnings in effect, including one for Forsyth and Guilford and Randolph and Davidson counties until 10:15 this morning. So there may be a few areas of flash flooding. Here's another look at those flood advisories. Everywhere you see the red, that's where we have the flash flood warnings, and then the lighter green color there is just a flood warning. That's mainly for the rivers in those areas. So as we go through the next several hours, that's when we're going to see the best chance of widespread rain. But watch what happens as we get closer to midday. The heaviest of the rainfall starts to slide to the east, and then through the afternoon we'll start to see things dry out. It's not going to be a completely dry afternoon by any stretch of the imagination. There still will be a few spotty showers and also some areas of drizzle and a lot of cloud cover, but at least the heavy widespread rain will be out of here. And then through the night tonight, again, a few light showers, some areas of drizzle, some fog will be possible as well tonight into tomorrow morning. I think we start off Friday cloudy, and then as we go through the afternoon, watch what happens. This is right around 2:40 Friday afternoon, a lot of sunshine. One of the reasons for the cloud cover and the rain is a cold front moving through. As that cold front passes through this morning, we'll start to see temperatures take a bit of a tumble through the afternoon. So the warmest part of the day really this morning, where we had temperatures in the 60s and low 70s. As we go through the afternoon, temperatures will eventually fall into the mid 60s and then into the 50s after that. So for tonight, some drizzle, some patchy fog, a few showers, low temperatures in the 50s. We start off Friday with cloud cover and maybe a few showers, and then we dry out. High temperatures a little bit cooler in the 60s, upper 60s to low 70s, and then the really cool air behind that front arrives on Saturday with highs in the 50s and low 60s. By Sunday, we'll see another cold front approach that could bump our temperatures up a little bit ahead of the front into the mid 60s. An isolated shower possible with that front. That's the way it looks right now. Of course, that could change if some more moisture can get in here ahead of that front. And then once that front moves through, we're in for some very chilly air. Temperatures below average for this time of the year, Tuesday and Wednesday. And for now, Wednesday morning, we have a low temperature of 35. It could possibly be much cooler than that. We'll have to kind of see how things shake out. But that's way down the line. We're not going to worry about that right now. Let's focus on the rainfall. That is going to be the big problem for the next several hours.
Go ahead and drop a comment about the weather affecting your house right now, or a photo, while we tell you about what's happening with schools today. Elkin City and Yadkin County schools announced they are delayed 2 hours this morning due to flash flooding in those areas. Students at Meadowlark Elementary School will learn remotely today. There is some flooding reported on a road near the Winston-Salem school, so that is closed for any in-person learning. Remember, kindergarten students went back this week in Winston-Salem Forsyth. We've also learned students and staff at another Winston-Salem Forsyth County school, Brunson Elementary, should not report to school today. Brunson will be remote learning as well.
Well, weather is the big story, so that is our big conversation for the morning. We want to know what questions you have. As Megan instructed, make sure you drop them in the comment section, and we'll have Taran and Ed answer as many as possible this morning.
All right, so first up, we had a question about when this rain is going to end. So can you give us a little more specific of a timeline, guys?
All right, I'll let Ed take that one.
All right. It looks as though the heaviest stuff with us right now, and that's been the case. It kind of moved into the mountains and foothills overnight and into the Triad now. The trend will be for things to start to very gradually wind down midday as the heaviest rain shifts on down into eastern North Carolina. This is a very slow moving cold front, so we've got several more hours of pockets of heavier rain and the potential of more flash flooding here in the Piedmont, and then the shift down in eastern North Carolina. Those areas in the coastal plain will have to deal with the heavier downpours later in the afternoon. What we're getting now will taper off to scattered light showers and drizzly conditions for the afternoon, and those will extend even into the overnight period.
You know, Ed Matthews, I almost didn't recognize you without a jacket and an umbrella.
I know.
I was like, oh, he's change of location. I love it.
Yeah, I'd like to say thank you very much, producer, for allowing me to come indoors. I do love it in here.
It looks good on you.
Thank you.
Hey, Kara said she just drove to Greensboro and back to High Point. Heavy rain, some standing water on the road. So just a reminder here about flash flooding. If you see water on the road, don't drive through it. Turn around. You don't know how high the water really is or how fast it could be moving underneath. It can be a very dangerous situation. All right, Stacy, are you monitoring the feed? Any other questions coming in for the guys right now or comments about the areas in the Triad where people are seeing some of the worst of this rainfall?
Yeah, I'm going to look at some of those comments, but I want to go ahead and get to some of the things I've seen on Twitter this morning so far. If we can go ahead and pull up that computer shot. Our Candace Red has been out there in the elements all morning. She took this video of school buses hitting the wet roads this morning. It just serves as a good reminder, if you are driving, like Megan mentioned, to be careful, to slow down. If you see water over the roadways, do not drive through it. And then Mark Case sending us a text, and he is in Randleman. He says that they're getting some minor flooding on some of their roads in the Level Cross Southern Guilford High School area. The drainage ditches are filling up. And then the city of Greensboro also tweeted this out, just reminding that about the heavy rain and flash flooding can create those hazardous driving conditions, thereby increasing the likelihood of a wreck. So be patient if you must drive out there this morning. And what does the weather look like at your house? You can text us pictures and videos to 336-379-5775. Be sure to include your name and where you are, and of course only text us if it is safe to do. And now going back to the comments on this stream, Lisa actually said her street in Thomasville is flooded from the end of her driveway clear across the street. Some people have been saying that they've heard thunder. Karen said the thunder was so loud. Kevin said many roads are flooded in the Abbott's Creek area in Davidson County. Joe said, let my poor dogs out, and then it just opened up and poured and they got soaked. Yeah, I have a wet dog right here next to my feet. And let's see. And I think you mentioned the Kara comment. Pam says, Mebane, lots of rain. Her yard starting to look like a pond.
So we're talking about inches of rain, and it's been a long, drenching rain because it started yesterday. So in total, is this just more than our grounds can handle right now, Triad?
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's what's going on. You have so much rain over a short period of time. By the time all is said and done, between the rain yesterday and the rain today, most of us somewhere between 2 to 4 inches of rainfall over a 24 to 30 hour period. So when you get that much rain in that short of a period of time, you can have some flash flooding. Now, it's not going to be flooded by the definition of flooding everywhere, but especially the low-lying areas, you're going to have ponding, and then in the flood-prone areas, you may see some flooding as we go through this morning as well. So as we've tried to continue to emphasize, be careful out there. If you are driving and you come across an area of the roadway where the water is covering the road, just turn around. Don't try to drive through that. If the water is flowing across the roadway, it can easily lift your car and sweep it away, and you don't want those issues, and we don't want those issues for you either. So just be careful out there. Take it easy. We're going to get through this just fine. By the middle of the day, the weather will start to improve as far as the rain tapering off. So we'll be there soon enough, but boy, this morning it is really coming down.
Yeah, a rough morning commute for a lot of people out there.
Yeah, Ed, Rob just joined on here, and he asked, is there a severe storm risk this morning? And then to piggyback off that, I'm wondering if there's a severe storm risk in the next couple days as we get that big cool down.
Well, never say never. I mean, I've heard some thunder when I was back in the wood shop there near the back door that leads into the weather garden about 30 minutes ago, and it was a pretty hefty rumble of thunder. We're not in a risk for severe weather, but never say never. But this type of condition where you do hear the thunder, that's where we have, kind of a dramatic lifting of this very tropical air mass over the region. So that's where we're seeing the very, very heavy downpours in those areas where we are getting some thunder. And where there's thunder, there is lightning. So don't be alarmed if you maybe see a flash of lightning this morning as well.
So you're thinking that by noon today, in terms of timing, we should start to dry out, clear out, or at least the conditions will be better. So if you have, like, trying to get your kids home from school won't be the problem, it's getting them to school.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. You know, as we go through midday, it's going to be, as Ed said, kind of a gradual decrease in the rainfall. So, you know, around here in the Triad, maybe 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., maybe 1:30 is where we're going to start to see things really improve, and then it's just going to get better and better from there. So again, getting them to the classroom, to the school this morning is going to be harder than heading back home. By the time you get ready to head home, there will be drizzle out there, maybe a few light showers, but nothing like what's going on outside right now.
Yeah, wow. Jason said that he lives near Lake Dobson and it was raining so hard he had whitewater rapids in his front yard. That's incredible, Ed.
Yeah, it really is. And that's what happens. I mean, and I noticed this when I was in the weather garden earlier on the Good Morning show. There'd be a patch of light rain and it'd really slack down. And then boom, all of a sudden you'd get a heavy downpour without warning. And when you get those heavy downpours, it certainly does accumulate. This is certainly, by definition, a very tropical air mass. And, we've been talking about Tropical Storm Ada, which is just a great distance away over northern Florida. Some of the upper level system associated with this cold front is partially tapping in to the moisture from the tropical storm. It's not going to be a direct thing, but that moisture that is moving along this cold front is kind of energizing this very, very slow moving cold front. And I think in part that's the reason we're getting the widespread heavy downpours this morning. Now that system will continue to weaken down. Winds are down to 45 miles per hour near Gainesville, Florida. It's going to track off the Carolina coast over the next several days. It's not going to move inland. It's not expected along the Carolina coast, but we do believe, and Taran and I have discussed this morning, that the upper level system kind of tapping in to a little bit of that deep layer tropical moisture associated with Tropical Storm Ada.
All right, before we move on to the morning headlines, because this is a big chance for people to get their questions about weather answered. Stace, I don't know if you're checking the feeds or not. Are there any more questions that these two can answer, or should we go ahead and move on?
Just like a lot of comments about hearing thunder. Actually been hearing it outside of my house. I'm in Greensboro, and a lot of people saying that their yards were already flooded from the rain we saw yesterday, so they're a little concerned about today. Kara said that she heard thunder in High Point, so it seems like more people are starting to hear that at this time this morning.
All right, well, of course, you can send us conditions, pictures. You can text them to us, really easy for us to receive, 336-379-5775. Please include your name and the area that you're in or taking the picture so that we can make sure that we report it and get it in our later newscasts. All right, your morning headlines include a rocky start to the first day of Guilford County schools because it's so wet outside, but they are welcoming some of their students back to class today. Pre-kindergarten through second grade students return to school buildings full-time for the first time this school year today. The Guilford County School Board approved the new reentry plan Tuesday night. The board also approved safety measures, including temperature checks, desks spaced 6 feet apart, and a mask requirement. 3rd through 12th grade students will not return to the classroom until January. Starting next Monday, first graders in Winston-Salem Forsyth County schools will be back in classrooms. You might remember pre-kindergarten students began in-person learning last week and kindergarten classes started Monday. The district will make decisions about other grade levels at an upcoming meeting on Tuesday.
The latest COVID-19 update for North Carolina shows a record number in COVID daily cases. The Department of Health and Human Services confirmed a little more than 3,100 new cases yesterday. They brought the statewide total, including presumed recoveries, to 300,000 since March. Today is the deadline for any absentee ballot postmarked by Election Day to arrive and count in the November 2020 election results. Wednesday, county boards of elections across the state tallied at least 1,300 more. 900 of them were in Alamance County. Any ballot received after 5 p.m. today will not be counted.
Okay, let's take another look at the radar. We see areas of heavier rain, kind of widespread across the area. I've seen some of that move up from areas around Rockingham or into Davison County, also into southern Guilford County. And you go down to south of Salisbury near Concord, just to the northeast of Charlotte, some heavy downpours there. And all of this is tracking from southwest to northeast. So we'll continue to see this spread across the Piedmont. Again, the time frame from now through about midday. Around midday, the trend will be for the heavier stuff to very gradually move on down into eastern North Carolina. We have numerous flash flood warnings that have been issued for counties in our viewing area, and we may have some more. So be careful if you've got to drive. Be extra careful. Be on the lookout for ponding water on the streets and highways. Now, as we go on through the rest of the day, we'll see it taper off to spotty light rain and drizzle. Temperatures this morning are really the warmest that they're going to be during the day. With the front moving through, temperatures will likely drop back into the low and mid 60s during the afternoon, and with a little drizzle tonight down to 53 with some patchy fog. Tomorrow going to look a lot better. We'll start out with some fog and clouds in the morning, and then more of a mix of sun and clouds as we begin to finally dry out. We'll be up pretty close to 70 on Friday. Weekend cooler, but generally dry. Low 60s on Saturday, mid 60s on Sunday. Another cold front moves through on Sunday, but it looks to be fairly dry. We'll go with a small shower chance in the afternoon, and then the breezes pick up early next week as some chilly air works into the Piedmont by Tuesday and Wednesday with a good bit of sunshine, highs in the mid 50s. And by Wednesday morning, we could see temperatures go down to around 30 here in the Piedmont. We'll track that, but right now, we're tracking the heavy downpours across the Piedmont. So stay with us over the next several hours, and we'll keep you updated on any more flash flood warnings. Be careful.
You know, Ed, I was so focused on today and tomorrow, I didn't realize that Tuesday surprise in the forecast. It's going to be a change, that's for sure.
Yes.
Just a quick note before we head out here. Yadkin County Schools is moving their school all online today, so it will be remote. So if you are a parent and you have to get your kid to school and you're in Yadkin County, don't rush because you'll want to turn on your computers. Everything is all remote today. And if any other schools decide to update their plans, we'll get you that information on WFMYnews2.com.
Yeah, Elkin City Schools, as we reported a few minutes ago, but if you're just jumping on, they are on a 2-hour delay today as well. Flooding, though, reported all over. So please just be careful. Take your time getting where you need to go.
All right, that's going to do it for us today on After GMS. Of course, an update today at noon, and we'll check you out right here on the Good Morning Show tomorrow. Take care.